Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
We discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And then remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we are celebrating today National Career Nurse Assistance Day. I didn't even know there was such a thing as nurse assistants. I've heard of doctor's assistants, nurse assistants. Okay, it goes along with a lot of other things I don't know about. National Red Rose Day. Thankfully, my wife does not want me to ever get her roses on the holidays. Too expensive. I'm allowed to bring them, go to Costco. Is it Costco? I think it's $19.99 when it's not a holiday. So I'm allowed to do that then, and she likes it. But Mother's Day, if I brought her flowers on Mother's Day, she'd probably wring my neck, thankfully. National Jerky Day. No, we are not talking about certain politicians. Not what we're talking. We're talking about food. And yes, I like food. National Jerky. Do you like the spicy jerky or the teriyaki jerky or barbecue jerky? I like the barbecue. I like the teriyaki. I'm not into the real spicy stuff. Josh, you into spicy? Okay, so you can go along with my wife and my kids. A couple of them like the real spicy stuff. I don't know. Because I understand. I unfortunately read a little bit. Sometimes when you read a little bit, it can be dangerous. You know where Cajun spiciness came from, or why they have Cajun spiciness? The fish is so bad, the Cajun spices mask the flavor of the fish. That's why they came out with Cajun spices. Useless trivia on Ron Siegel Radio. But having beaten anorexia, I will go with National Peanut Butter Cookie Day. I like peanut butter cookies. Do we have a picture of peanut butter? We have a pic. Okay, Josh, those look like Girl Scout cookies. Yes, and indeed that peanut butter cookies. Okay, Campatellas. Have you ever picked Campatellas cookies? Josh, when you're out here next, have you been at the Campatellas when you're out in the Oak Sea? They make a good cookie. And yes, at my size, I know cookies. Okay, let's see what the markets are doing today. What's driving the markets? What are they doing? The Dow Jones Industrial Average now down 40 points. The S&P 500 is up 9.8. NASDAQ is up 25. Oil up 16 cents a barrel. We want to get that oil back down. It's at 68.31 a barrel. Need to get that down a little bit. What's driving some of these things? Well, the issue, I'm sure, has to do with what's going on in the Middle East. So the oil prices have to do, when you start taking all of the non-essentials out of the Middle East from the U.S. areas. Does that give you a little warning of what might be on the horizon? And I'm sure that the Dow Jones Industrial Average, now it's up 2 points. I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the airline stocks not doing too well this morning. That's another one of those big issues. So we're just watching all of these things for you. Let's see what else is going on in this world. We've got the Congress doing, their inquisitions. Okay, gotta like that one. We're going to talk today. We got a lot to cover today. One of the things that's interesting is I like having great guests on the radio show. It means there's less talking for me. But one of the other things that happens is there's a lot of stuff that we end up not chatting about that we should be chatting about that we just don't get to, which is fine as well. I don't mind not getting to some of it. But the bottom line here is that the markets are moving. We've been talking about CPI. We're looking at jobless claims. And you know that I follow closely former Fed worker, economist, Danielle DiMartino Booth. And she comes out with some great stuff. Now, I've told you this before, and I'll tell you again, I'm sure. But here's the issue is that you have to deal a lot. If you want to get good information, you've got to get the information, you've got to pay for it. You cannot get the information directly from any of these outside sources because most of them give you bad data. They give you biased data. So when you're paying for a subscription, they have the choice of either giving you biased data, which you may or may not want, or they can give you good data, which you may or may not want. I like to get the good data. What do I mean by that? Well, the data that I want is just data. Don't tell me your opinion because opinions are like rear ends. I had to clear that one up for radio. Josh, you notice we cleared that up just a little bit so that you didn't have to hit the beeper button. Opinions like rear ends. Everyone has one, and they all stink. But one of the things you get from Danielle DiMartino being an economist at the Fed, not one of the governors or others, but you get some good information from her, and it's just straight data. And love the straight data. And one of the things she was talking about from this morning's newsletter was the CPI numbers that we got yesterday. And she's talking about the idea that there are certain items within CPI, the Consumer Price Index, inflation, that are still going up. And she used the analogy of bananas, month-over-month gains of 1.1% in March, 1.2 April, 3.3 in May, equating to a 25% annualized three-month run rate. But the core CPI, the month-over-month, 0.3%, it's been pretty much flat since Trump's election win expectations in October of 2024. But May, it was down. It dropped to 0.1% in May. Now, core CPI dropping tells us what about these tariffs? And everybody's talking about the problem with tariffs. If we had these CPI issues, if we had tariff issues, different tariff problems, and it's going to cause inflation, and I get on all these debates, tariffs are a tax. Okay, only if you pay it, only if it gets added to the costs. What if it gets absorbed into the profit of the origin country company, the origin country? What if oil prices go down so the transportation costs go down? Now, what are you going to call it? So the issue there is, something? The numbers don't lie. When you've got a 0.1% inflation rate, that's good. And we're seeing that throughout the markets. And I'm looking right now, the 10-year Treasury down 6 basis points. Helpful, 4.36. That's helping the mortgage world. We're going to continue talking about it. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, 7 habits to boost your credit and slash your debt. Estate planning for blended families. Your house didn't sell. Here's what to do now. All that and more Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990, the Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you need to put in your mortgage calculator to determine your principal and interest payment each and every month. What number do you put in your mortgage calculator? You don't have a mortgage calculator? rsrlinks.com/mobile app. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. What did rates do yesterday? Okay, we got a conventional 30-year fix, 6.835. That was down. Jumbo 30-year fix, 6.929. That was down. FHA 30-year fix, 6.592. That was up. VA 30-year fix, 6.45. That was down. USDA 30-year fix, 6.49. That was up. Got a mixed day, obviously, on the markets from yesterday. What's happening today? Well, I'm going to be the one that tells you right here, right now. We've got the S&P 500 is up 15.37. We've got the 10-year Treasury down 6.3 basis points to 4.36. 4.36. We want to see that yield keep continued downward because there is a spread between the 10-year Treasury and mortgage-backed securities. Now, and the mortgage rate, not the mortgage-backed securities, because when we look at the bond, the mortgage bond from right now that we're looking at is up 27 basis points. That's the 5.5 coupon. When that bond goes up, interest rates go down. So we like that idea. Why is all of this happening? Well, stocks are mixed. Mortgage bonds are higher after President Trump threatened the unilateral tariffs on trade partners that do not come to the table to make a deal, as well as a tragic report of an Air India Boeing Dreamliner crash leaving from India to London. Both of those headlines are weighing on stocks with money flowing into the bond market. Also helping bonds was a tamer than feared producer price index report and signs of weakness in the labor market, according to the latest initial jobless claims. Yesterday's 10-year Treasury note auction, slightly better than average with foreign participation stronger than normal. That is the key right there, because you keep hearing the media telling us that foreign countries don't want to invest in the U.S. Well, the foreign participation in the bonds, stronger than normal. This is another sign that foreign nations are not shunning our debt like previously feared. We're going to have a 30-year bond auction later today. That's for the institutions that get involved in that one more. Initial jobless claims came from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, reported that initial jobless claims, measures individuals filing for unemployment benefits for the very first time, remained at 248,000 last week. This is an elevated figure and is a third week in a row with higher claim numbers. We've seen spikes previously, but this is a clear trend that signals a softening labor market. At the same time, continuing claims, which measures individuals who continue to receive benefits after their initial claim, rose to a new cycle high of 1.96 million. This is the third week above 1.9 million and is the highest level we have seen since 2021. Also, the first time we have seen consistently higher initial claims, with continuing claims being consistently above 1.9 million. It's clear that more individuals are getting let go, and once that happens, it's harder for them to find a job because they're staying on unemployment benefits for longer. Also remember that in most states, you can only stay on benefits for 26 weeks. So this figure continues to climb even with those falling off due to expiration. The producer price index, wholesale inflation figures were cooler than feared, but it was clouded with revisions to the previous month. For May, headline inflation raised 0.1%, which was cooler than the 0.2% expected. April, however, was revised higher by 0.3 from negative 0.5 to a negative 0.2. Year-over-year headline inflation rose 2.6%, right in line with the market estimates. Core rate, strips out food and energy, rose 0.1% as well, which was lower than the 0.3% expected. There was a positive revision to April, bringing the previous reading from negative 0.4 to a negative 0.2%, which tempered the low reading. Year over year, however, core inflation was up 3%, which was 1/10 lower than estimates. Bottom line, this was a better than feared report and even better than estimates on the core. PPI shares some components with the even more important PCE later this month and influences about 12% of the report. All of those shared components moved lower, which would indicate that at least from those components, we should see a tamer PCE report, the personal consumption expenditures. That is the Fed's favorite measure of inflation. If we see a tamer report there, I'm hearing a lot of folks that are talking right now on the business stations that the 10-year treasury, or the Fed funds rate is too high. And the Fed's going to have their meeting next week. I don't think we're going to see any change in the Fed funds rate next week. We'll see, but I don't think we're going to see any change in that next week. And I'm just telling you that the Fed is late. Jerome Powell, you know my feeling about Jerome Powell.
Idiot.
Yeah, he's
idiot.
always late. I wonder if they just call him Late Jerome. But you know, if he waits, inflation is already down. You know, if you take out housing, which has a big lag, and you look at everything without housing, we're already in the 1% range, which is well below the Fed's target. Now we're starting to see a softening of the labor market, and with Late Jerome, I'm sure we're going to have a problem coming up on that one as well. You're listening. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So we're going to talk a bunch today. We've got a slate for you of really interesting articles. And one of the things when we come back that we're going to talk about is your house didn't sell. And what do you do about it? Well, step one, get our home seller's guide. It's free. rsrlinks.com/HSG. Get a copy of our home seller's guide. Take a look at it. And we've also done many broadcasts on how to get the maximum price for your home. Go to rsrlinks.com/salesmax. What are builders right now doing to keep their inventory selling? Well, you should be doing the same things. One of the key things that builders are doing, and they do this all the time, is they give people incentives. Now, if a builder can give an incentive to a buyer, can't a home seller give an incentive to a buyer? Of course they can. How do they do it? Well, they build it into the price. Everything's always built into the price, right? Builders are in business to make money. So they build into their price an incentive. What are two of the best incentives that we have to help you get your home sold? An incentive for buyers. How about helping them get a lower monthly payment? We all live lives of cash flow. I mean, when you think about it, why is it that when you go to a car dealer, they don't ask you what you want to pay for the car. They ask you what it is that you want your monthly payment to be. You can throw them off by big time by saying, I'm going to pay cash. I don't recommend that. Why? Because what you want to do is you want to know what the full price of the car is and what the payment is that they're offering, even if you have the cash to buy it. Now, if you don't have cash, if you've got the Home Select loan, gethomeselect.com, gethomeselect.com. If you've got the Home Select loan, here's what you do. Here's the strategy. Don't tell my friends who are car dealers that I'm saying this to you. They may not care. You go in, you negotiate a price and payment. It is important. It is critical. Price and payment. They may be able to get you a lower price if you go with a higher payment. How do they do that? Because they put in there a higher interest rate, which gets them a better rebate from the finance company. Okay, so that helps out with their profitability. They're going to make money on the car no matter what. But you go in there and you go in with a high, they get a higher payment and you can get the price reduced. Okay, don't worry about the higher payment, because step 2 of the strategy is you use your Home Select availability to pay off the car after a couple of months. So yes, you might have a payment that's $100 or $200 a month higher to get a purchase price that is significantly lower. And then what you're going to do is use that Home Select availability to go and pay off the car. Now you say, oh, Ron, but now I've got a 30-year mortgage, a 30-year liability. No, make the payment that you wanted to make as an additional principal payment into the Home Select. Now remember, it's an interest-only loan. That's all you have to pay every month is the interest, because you've got the equity. But when you're leaving that cash in your Home Select, when it sweeps into the loan, because you're paying principal first every single night, you're going to end up paying that off significantly quicker with a very, very low effective interest rate. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, why buying real estate is still the best long-term investment. Your house didn't sell. Here's what to do next. Estate planning for blended families and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Your house didn't sell. Here's what to do now. When your house doesn't sell, it doesn't just feel frustrating, it feels personal. You put time, money, and emotional energy into this move. You told your friends and family it was happening. And now that your listing has expired without a buyer, you're left feeling stuck and maybe even a little bit embarrassed. Here's what most agents won't tell you. Over 70% of homeowners who relist with a different agent sell their house. Relist with the same agent, that stat drops to only 50%, according to the latest data from RedX. That's like leaving the fate of your sale to a coin toss, and that's not good enough. What you're like, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, the ABC News and Talk, AM 1490 or FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart right now. It shows you're more likely to sell your house if you relist with a different agent. RedX data also shows that only 1 in 3 homeowners with expired listings actually make that change. That means most sellers either give up or repeat the same mistakes so they get the same disappointing outcome. You deserve better. Same house, different strategy, completely different results. Let's break down what might have gone wrong and how a fresh perspective can help you have a winning strategy this time. 1, it was priced too high. Today, home buyers are feeling the squeeze of higher mortgage rates. So even a slightly overpriced home will get overlooked. And once your listing starts to go stale, it's hard to regain momentum. Missing the mark on pricing is a costly mistake, and too many homeowners are doing that very thing right now. What we need to do now, we need to analyze the latest sales in your area to make sure you're hitting the right numbers. This includes taking a hard look at real-time buyer behavior and any feedback you got from open houses or showings your first time around. Pricing at or even just below current market value is a winning play because it drives more buyers to your listing and that amps up the competition for your home. Number 2, it didn't show well. You only get one shot at a first impression. If the listing photos didn't pop, the house wasn't staged well, or it wasn't updated, most buyers will skip over it without ever scheduling a showing. And even if buyers did show up, small things like scuffed walls, outdated light fixtures, or a wobbly doorknob can turn them away. What we need to do now, let's walk through your house with fresh eyes to see if there are any areas that may have been sticking points inside and out. Sometimes taking down old drapery, some light staging, or even a fresh coat of paint can completely change how a buyer feels about the home. Number 3, if it didn't get the right exposure. If your home didn't sell, chances are it wasn't getting the visibility it deserved. Generic flyers and a few online photos aren't enough anymore. Today's top agents aren't using highly targeted digital marketing, social media strategies, custom video content, and more to get your listing in front of the right buyers at the right time. What we need to do now, we have to do more than just put your house online and hope it sells. Together, we can come up with a real plan to maximize its exposure. With the right pricing, staging, and marketing, your house will sell quickly. Here's a real-world example if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv or our socials. Homes listed with a different agent sell twice as fast, average days to sell an expired listing when using a different agent versus the same. Relisting with a different agent, 23 days. When relisting with the same agent, 46. Number 4, you weren't willing to negotiate in this market. Sellers who aren't open to negotiating on things like closing costs, expansion repairs, or other concessions are often left behind. And if your last agent didn't set that expectation with you, that's a real shame. What we need to do now, be willing to meet buyers where they are. The goal is to get the deal done. And sometimes that means getting creative to help buyers cross the finish line. Home values have increased by over 55% over the last 5 years. So you likely have enough wiggle room to offer some perks without sacrificing your bottom line. How about offering, and again, we do this all the time on Ron Siegel Radio. We've talked about this. How about offering a payment assistance plan? It's got to be permanent, not the temporary. You can go in and say, seller assisted financing, potentially 5.99%. We show you how to do that. rsrlinks.com/buydown. rsrlinks.com/buydown. We've shown you how to do it many, many times. If your house didn't sell and your listing is expired, you don't need to give up. You just need a better plan and a better partner. Over 70% of homeowners who switch agents sell their house after relisting it. That's not a coincidence. That's a strategy. If you're ready for a proven approach, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I can help you get it sold. I have partners everywhere within the sound of my voice that will look at a CMA that I provide and put together a strategy that we can help you with. All you have to do is pick up the phone. Again, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That is the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by gethomeselect.com, gethomeselect.com. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, where we bring you the latest insights on real estate, retirement, financial planning, and everything in between to help you live your best life. I'm Ron Siegel, and I am a Certified Liability Advisor. I focus on helping families and advisors build wealth through better debt and estate management. Today, we're diving into a topic that's close to home for millions of Americans: estate planning for blended families. If you've remarried, have stepchildren, or have experienced the loss of a spouse, this segment is for you. Blended families are the new normal, and yet estate planning in these situations is anything but straightforward. Challenge number one: children from previous marriages. Let's say you've got a simple will. It lays everything to your spouse. End of story, right? Not so fast. In blended families, this default strategy can unintentionally disinherit your children from a previous marriage. If you pass first, your current spouse inherits everything, and they can change their will at any time after you're gone. That could leave your kids with nothing. Solution: use a qualified terminable interest property trust, QTIP. This structure ensures your surviving spouse is supported while preserving your children's inheritance. You can also implement life insurance with a designated beneficiary to provide immediate liquidity to your biological children, avoiding probate and legal challenges entirely. Challenge number two: one partner has more assets. Statistics show that over 40% of new marriages today are remarriages. Often one spouse brings significantly more wealth into the relationship: assets, retirement accounts, a home, maybe even a business. That's where emotions and finances can collide. Solution: enter the prenuptial or postnuptial agreement, not just for Hollywood A-listers. These tools clarify ownership, protect inheritances, and reinforce trust between spouses. For those already married, a postnup is the same principle, just signed after you say, "I do." Also consider revocable living trusts for each spouse, which allow both partners to maintain control of their separate property and its direct disposition clearly. Challenge number three: traditional trusts may not be enough. Many families think one trust is all they need. But in blended households, a single trust often muddies the waters. What happens if one spouse becomes incapacitated? What if their children disagree on care decisions? Solution: use the three trust approach. Spouse A's trust, spouse B's trust, a joint trust for shared assets. This structure respects both separate and joint contributions, and it offers clarity when it's most needed. And don't forget to assign different successor trustees, one from each side of the family, to ensure everyone feels represented and respected. Additional tips and strategies: here are some often overlooked but highly effective strategies we recommend to clients. Number one, power of attorney and healthcare directives. There should be updated after any major life challenge or change, especially remarriage. Number two, consider a professional trustee. Family drama can escalate fast. A neutral third-party trustee ensures decisions are made based on the plan not on emotion. Use of an irrevocable life trust, ILIT. ILITs can keep life insurance proceeds out of the probate and estate tax calculations while earmarking them for specific heirs. Number 4, charitable remainder trust, CRTs. For high net worth families, CRTs can provide income for a surviving spouse and leave a legacy to a cause you care about. Number 5, digital asset planning. From crypto wallets to your Facebook page, blended families need to plan for everything that lives online as well. Next step, look, this isn't just about money. This is about protecting relationships. It's about honoring your commitments to all your loved ones, past and present. And most of all, it's about clarity. When done right, your estate plan becomes a love letter to your family, not a source of conflict. That's why we offer a complimentary liability checkup at rsrlinks.com/Sora, rsrlinks.com/Sora. And we have attorneys that we work with that can help reviewing estate documents. In less than 30 seconds, you'll know if your current strategy could use a second opinion. Again, we also work with estate planning attorneys and can connect you to a vetted pro who knows how to plan for real-life family dynamics, not just textbook theory. And as I always say, I am not giving you any legal advice, just here to help educate and point you in the right direction. If you're in a blended family or helping someone who is, take a proactive step today. Don't leave your legacy to chance. I'm Ron Siegel, your Certified Liability Advisor. We're here to help you borrow smart, live better, and plan wisely. Catch us anytime at ronsiegelradio.com. And don't forget, smarter debt leads to stronger families. If you have questions or want to chat with my team, head to bookrs15.com, bookrs15.com, and schedule your free consultation today. That is the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by gethomeselect.com, gethomeselect.com. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, 7 habits to boost your credit and slash your debt. ReFire, don't just retire. Living with purpose beyond the paycheck. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's...
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by gethomeselect.com, gethomeselect.com. Welcome to another edition of Ron Siegel Radio, where we don't just talk dollars and cents. We talk about living smarter, retiring better, and building a life that lights you up. I'm Ron Siegel, your host and Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through better debt management. They want to flip the script on how we think about retirement, because let's be honest, the traditional idea of retirement, it's a little tired. You've worked hard. You've built savings. You might even have that condo in the desert or a golf membership. But now what? More golf? More daytime TV? Or what if you could ReFire instead of retire? That's the idea behind ReFirement. It's not just about leaving work. It's about stepping into the most meaningful, purpose-driven chapter of your life. For decades, retirement's been painted as the finish line. You cross it, kick up your feet, and ride off into the sunset. But for a lot of folks, especially higher achievers, that endless vacation turns into a weird kind of emptiness. No structure, no purpose, no spark. And here's the kicker. Even people who are financially prepared often feel emotionally lost when the work stops. One of the most successful medical directors I know retired at 69 on paper. He was set, but emotionally he was adrift. Why? Because no one helped him plan for what comes after the paycheck stops. ReFirement, a concept championed by thought leaders like Kathleen Reel and Ken Blanchard, redefines this stage of life. It's not a wind down, it's a ramp up. It's about building a lifestyle rooted in 5 good F words: family, fulfillment, fitness, friends, and fun. You might mentor the next generation, start that nonprofit, write your book, or finally take those salsa classes with your spouse. Whatever it is, ReFirement encourages us to look at retirement as the beginning of a new mission, not the end of a career. Now, as a certified liability advisor, I help folks create strategies that support the life they want, not just the life they can afford. And here's the truth. You don't get clarity from numbers. You get it from questions. Try these. What's something you've always wanted to do but never had the time? If your job title vanished tomorrow, who would you be? What do you want your grandkids to remember about you? These aren't just dinner table questions. They're the core of effective ReFirement planning. Here's the fun part. Tools like touchstone posters. Think vision boards for your ReFirement. Legacy letters, a heartfelt way to pass values to your family, not just valuables. Values worksheets, align your money with what matters most. And in a little journaling or mindful practice, and you've got a ReFirement plan that nurtures your bank account and your soul. Now, we at Ron Siegel Radio, at our office, we're building a ReFirement mindset program that's more than portfolio reviews. We help people visualize their next ideal week, plan their impact, and yes, budget for those Italy cooking classes that's on your bucket list. We also offer our liability checkup, an advisory first conversation that helps align your finances with the life you want to live. You can schedule that now at rsrlinks.com/Sora, rsrlinks.com/Sora. And if you're a financial advisor or real estate professional listening right now, ask yourself, how are you preparing your clients for what comes after they hang it up? Let's start the conversation. Retirement isn't about fading into the background. It's about turning up the heat on a life with more joy, more connection, and more legacy. So don't just retire, ReFire. This has been Ron Siegel encouraging you to live life with intention, lead, and legacy. And above all, plan on purpose. Visit rsrlinks.com/Sora to schedule your complimentary liability review. Let's build a plan that fuels your future. Until next time, stay safe, stay purposeful, and always remember, you're not done yet. That is the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. And as you know, the Home Select loan is the absolute best loan on the market. I know I say it all the time, and yes, I am right. We just love that loan. That's the Borrow Smart segment. Let's see. I think we have time for another real-time real estate segment. Real-time real estate brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Why buying real estate is still the best long-term investment. Lately, it feels like every headline about the housing market comes with a side of doubt. Your prices going up or down? Are we headed for a crash? Will rates ever come down? And all the media noise may leave you wondering, does it really make sense to buy a home right now? But here's the one thing that doesn't get enough airtime. Real estate has always been about the long game. And when you look at the big picture, not just the latest clickbait headlines, it's easy to see why so many people say it's still the best investment you can make even now. According to the just released annual report from Gallup, real estate has been voted the best long-term investment for the 12th year in a row. That's over a decade of beating out stocks, gold, and bonds as America's top pick. Again, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart of real estate voted the best long-term investment. And this isn't new. Real estate usually claims the number one title, but here's what's really interesting. This year's results came in just after a rocky April for the stock and bond markets. It shows that even as other investments had wild swings, real estate has held its ground. That's likely because it gains value in a steadier, more predictable way, as Gallup explains, quote, amid volatility in the stock and bond markets in April, Americans' preference for stocks as the best long-term investment has declined. Gold has gained in appeal, while real estate remains the top choice for the 12th consecutive year, unquote. That says a lot. Even though things may be a bit uncertain in today's economy, real estate can still be a powerful investment. Yes, home values are rising at a more moderate pace right now. And sure, in some markets, prices may be flat in the year ahead or even a little dip a little, but that's just the short-term view. Don't let that cloud the bigger picture. Real estate has a long-term track record of gaining value over time. That's kind of growth you can count on, especially if you plan to live in that home for a long time. That's part of why Americans continue to buy home ownership, even when the headlines may sound a little uncertain. As Sam Williamson, senior economist at First American, says, quote, a home is more than just a place to live. It's often a family's most valuable financial asset and a cornerstone to build long-term wealth, unquote. Bottom line, real estate isn't about overnight wins. It's about long-term gains. So don't let the uncertainty in a shifting market make you think it's a bad time to buy. If you're feeling unsure, just remember Americans have consistently said real estate is the best long-term investment you can make. And if you want more information about why so many people think home ownership is worth it, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990 at RonSiegelRadio.com. And you know something, if you're thinking about buying or selling, we've got agents that we can introduce you to anywhere in the sound of my voice that can help you. And we share the strategies all the time so the agents understand what you've been listening to on Ron Siegel Radio. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items that affect the roof over your head or your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990 at RonSiegelRadio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.